afternoon, Jim.
Namsook, it's very nice to see you again.
Thank you for having us today. It's an honor to meet you again.
It's my honor. I'm a fan of Korea. I'm a fan of Hanbando, so I'm very happy to be here.
How have you been doing in this pandemic?
Well, like everybody else, I cannot go anywhere. There's no place to go, and if you can't go, you cannot get there even if there were. So no, I've been here.
Yeah, it was tough for me in the beginning, but I've been doing well, and
Hooray.
I'm healthy.
Hooray. Well, I'm glad you're healthy. That's even better.
Now I will start the interview in Korean.
Okay, hooray, in Korean. Great.
Korean. 2015년 CNN 인터뷰에서 당신은 이렇게 말씀하셨어요. 내 재산, 전 재산을 북한에 투자할 수 있다면 나는 그렇게 하겠다. 이 말씀을 통해서 전 세계에 있는 외국인뿐 아니라 우리 한국 사람들도 북한을 새롭게 바라보는 계기가 됐습니다.
Well, North Korea is changing a lot, and I have learned over my investing career that if you go to a place that's very cheap and nobody likes it, and it's changing, you might make a lot of money. If you had invested in China in 1980, when it was starting to change, everybody hated China. It was very cheap. But Deng Xiaoping was changing China, and you would have made a lot of money. Mr. Kim is trying to change Korea. He's not North Korean. He grew up in Switzerland.
Right.
You know, would you rather live in North Korea or in Switzerland? Everybody would rather live in Switzerland. Of course, he would too, but he cannot leave. He cannot leave North, so he has to make changes in North. He has said, it's not reported in South Korea or in America, but he has said many times in China, he wants to do for Korea what Deng Xiaoping did for China.
Oh.
So my point was, it's a very cheap place with lots of value, and if it is going to change, it'll be a good investment.
Right.
It's like if you'd invested in South Korea in 1955. Very cheap, but changing for the better, would have made a lot of money. So that's all I meant. If you find something very cheap that is changing, you might make a lot of money.
Right. Jim Rogers, 앞으로 5년 한반도 투자 시나리오 그 책이 작년에 출판되었는데요. 이 책은 많은 사람들의 사랑을 받고 있고 특히 비즈니스 섹션에서 one of best 책입니다. 오늘은 물론 책에서 다 말씀해 주셨지만은 당신의 목소리로 왜 북한에 주목하게 되었는지 또 왜 한반도를 이렇게 유심히 보시게 되었는지 그 견해를 듣고 싶습니다.
Well, I wasn't interested in Korea for a long time, but then my wife and I went to North Korea in 2007, and we could see, you know, all propaganda you have to be worried about all propaganda, especially American propaganda and South Korean propaganda. And I could see, well, this is not as bad as they said. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. No, it wasn't good. It was very poor, nothing there. But I could see that the people wanted something different. They knew about South Korea.
Oh.
They knew about China. They knew. You know, you cannot lie to people anymore. You have DVDs. You have the Chinese come to North Korea. The Russians come to North Korea. So I could see that it was changing. I went back in 2013 after the father had died, and I could really see, you know, there were free trade zones, international marathons, international bicycle races, international movie festivals. I could see that the new Mr. Kim wanted to change very much.
Change.
And I could see it was cheap. North Korea has lots of natural resources.
Right.
In fact, in 1970, North Korea was still richer than South Korea.
Right. It's true.
But I mean, communism and the Kims
Mm-hmm.
can ruin everything. And the communists and the Kims ruin North Korea.
Yes, it's
Completely
ruined.
ruin North Korea. But they have a lot of natural resources. They have cheap labor, disciplined labor, educated labor right on the Chinese border. South Korea has lots of manufacturing, lots of business know-how, lots of capital, and they know how to raise capital. So you put 80 million people on the Chinese border together. Oh, and North Korea also has females. You have a shortage of females in South Korea. You're marrying Vietnamese. You're marrying Filipinos. You don't have to do that anymore. Get them. There are plenty of girls in the North. So there are many reasons. Russia's for it, China's for it, North Korea's for it, many people in South Korea for it. So it's going to come, and I could see, you know, when you find a country that's changing with lots of assets and lots of value, you might make a lot of money. And so I had been to South Korea, obviously, and I knew, everybody knows the South Korean story. I'd driven across South Korea. I'd visited many parts of South Korea. So I could see this is a great opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I agree with you.
And one other thing that I will say, you didn't ask, but I will say, you know, Hanbando has never been on the world tourism map.
Oh,
When people think about, they don't think about Korea, they think about war, they think about communists, they think about, you know, lots of things. But once the border opens, tourists all over the world, many will say, let's go and see.
yeah.
We never went to
So
Korea.
nobody
Very
could
few-
visit
very
to-
few
very
people
few people
Go to Korea.
include Europe.
Yes, yes, no, I know. So, but soon you will have a lot of curious people going, the adventurers first, and they are going to find man-made, many beautiful buildings, natural scenery, beaches,
beautiful
mountains,
beaches.
food. Many people like
Right.
Korean food. You know, you're going to find many wonderful things in Korea. So Korea will be a big tourist attraction too for many years after you open the 38th parallel. So there are many things that will be great
Yeah.
in Korea going forward.
Yeah. 민주평화통일자문회의는 대한민국의 헌법기관입니다. 그리고 그 사무처 본부가 서울에 있고요. 또 우리 해외 124개국에 약 3,600명의 자문위원들이 봉사하고 있습니다. 이 단체에 대해서 들어보신 적이 있는지, 또 이런 민간 활동이 앞으로 한반도의 평화 정착에 어떤 기여를 할 것인지, 또 그를 통해서 또 경제적인 어떤 효과가 있을지 한번 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
Of course I've heard. I mean, yes, there are many people in South Korea who would like peace. Me too. I'm not
Me
South
too.
Korean, but I would love peace and prosperity.
Right.
And the money, you'll have so much money if you don't have to spend on guns and bullets and tanks. And North Korea will have so much money. Be very exciting. No, I hope more people in the world will understand that this doesn't have to be. It's 70 years now. Doesn't have to be that way anymore. And yes, of course, Hanbando will be fabulous. I
I'm
repeat,
so touched.
Hanbando will be the most exciting place in the world for 10 or 20 years once you open the 38th parallel. I know you're for you don't have to have unification at first. Just open the parallel.
Oh.
Let people do what they want. Unification will take care of itself.
Right.
That's
It
just
will
another.
take some time.
That's just another big problem. Just say, guys, we're going to open the 38th parallel. We're going to have a big K-pop concert. We're going to eat and drink and dance. Don't worry. You let people come and go, come and go.
Yeah,
Korea,
that is the first step.
Yes, that's all listen up. Koreans are very, very smart. The Koreans have been there for 5,000 years. You've had some good times. You've had some bad times. You can take care of it. I wouldn't worry about unification right now. I would just say open the border and let's have a big party every night.
Okay.
Every night.
Okay, excellent. Excellent solution. 2032년은요, 아직 좀 먼 미래 같지만은 한국에서는 2032년 서울평양 공동올림픽 개최를 기원하고 있습니다. 그 서울평양 조인트 올림픽이 성공할 경우에 이것이 미치는 효과가 얼마나 클지 또 앞으로 글로벌 경제에 또 끼치는 영향이 어떻게 될지 견해를 한번 말씀해 주십시오.
Well, again, if you have the Olympics, the Joint Olympics, you open the border, people will come and go.
Yes.
Foreigners will
Yes.
come and go. Europeans, Americans, many people will come and will go back and forth. And you're up for unification.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot tell Korea what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you open that border, a lot will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if people want to go to see things in the north or in the
Right.
south, they just
Mm-hmm.
go across the border. You know, there were railroads on
Right,
the East
right.
Coast
Yes,
and
yes.
railroads on the West Coast. The railroads will be rebuilt. Hanbando will become a transportation center.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once the railroads are
right.
built, you can connect to the Trans-Siberian Railroad in Russia.
Yes.
You can connect to
Connect to
China's One Belt,
China.
One Road.
Mhm.
So Hanbando will become a big transportation center in
Yes.
the future, a tourist center. Many things can happen. Just open the border. The 2032 Olympics will be a good time for that.
Mhm.
But I think things can happen sooner than that.
Oh.
If you have an election in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, I don't know who the president will be, but maybe the new leader of South Korea will say, let's do it. I'm very, very enthusiastic about Korea, and I love Korea, but I cannot tell you what to do. So, I hope that someday Hanbando is open, people can come and go, they won't spend money on bullets and tanks, they'll spend money on schools and highways and parties, and we'll all have a very, very good time making money, eating, drinking, dancing, having lots of fun and lots of prosperity in the new Hanbando. So open the border.
Thank you so much, Jim. Could you say some few sporting words for NUAC?
Oh no, I'm very, anybody who can get this border open, it can change Hanbando, the world needs.
Okay,
Hanbando needs.
all right.
Open it up.
Open and meet.
If
Yeah.
you open it and meet, unification requires a lot of talking. You just open it up,
Okay.
and the Korean people
Mhm.
will take care of the rest of it.
Yeah.
Have fun and make money.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
Oops.
Oops. Thank
You have the
so much.
virus.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.